Hello everybody and welcome back to the final part of my build and review of the AT-AT Walker. Today will be bag 8 and the final review of the completed build. If you want to just watch the review, I'll put a timestamp on screen, but if you are staying for the build speed is as per usual in 4x speed, and if I show a minifigure or sticker, that will be in normal speed. Let's get into the video. And there we go. And here is the final build for the AT-AT Walker. Just want to say, oh my goodness, this thing is huge. It is about 14 inches tall, and I have some comparisons with my other two build interviews that I did. Here is the TIE Fighter next to it, and here is the AT-TE Walker right next to it. As you can see, this thing is gigantic. It is the largest set out of these three with 1,200 pieces, and definitely is the tallest. Here is the length comparison with these two as well. This one is a little longer because of the guns. But my first impressions of this build altogether is I think it is super, super good. There are a couple things that I don't like about it, but other than those, this thing is pretty much perfect. First thing we will review in depth are the minifigures. And here are the 6 minifigures in the set. From left to right, we have the 2 AT-AT drivers, each with their different heads, the Snow Troopers, each with different heads, the General Veers with a double-sided head, and the pilot Luke Skywalker with the double-sided head. Here are the different heads for the AT-AT drivers. This one is a smiling guy, and the other one is angry, stern, something like that. The helmet and body on both of the AT-AT drivers are the same, so I will only go over one of them. But I really like the helmets on these, especially with the dark red Imperial logo and the black half stripe that goes to the top of the helmet. It's kind of like the inverse of the 212th Clone Troopers that has a red, or supposedly has a red triangle going down the middle. I really like the light gray on the, sand blue. I really like how that looks. It seems like the printing is very accurate. There's no misprints or errors on it or anything like that. It looks very nice. The back looks the same. It is just blank. It looks like all of the other episode 4, 5, and 6 pilot helmets. They use the same mold. So it has that high back on it right there. Now for the body, it looks very nice in my opinion. It has the machines on the front and back with their little gray vests. And it has all of the nice detailing on it as well. The legs are single-sided printing with the pockets and the thing that connects to the chest piece. Now for the Snow Troopers, I will show each of the heads. This guy looks really tired with those eye bags under him. And the other guy looks, I don't know, just looks like a normal Lego minifigure. Now, personally, my favorite thing about these Snow Troopers is their helmets. I really like the shape that they use on them, so it looks like it's an actual cloth piece on the front. And it is a little lacking in detail, but it is very accurate to the movies. Here is the back with the dimples on it. I just think it looks very clean, very sleek. It doesn't look like there's any errors or misprints on these as well. Now for the body, it has the same type of machines as you see with the belt buckle in the back. And on the front, it has the same buttons and the front of the belt. It looks very good in my opinion. I really like how it all looks. I really like the tan hands on them as well. And for the leg printing, it is just the normal legs of the extending pauldron, is that what it is? Or the skirt, comma, whatever they call it. It's just the extension of that. I guess this should have a cloth one, but I guess they just went for the leg printing instead. Next is General Veers. First, I'll show his face. This side is his more stern, and the other side is him very happy. They must have just destroyed a rebel base or something. His helmet's really cool. I really like the color, as I said, with the AT-AT drivers, because it is the same color or maybe a shade different, but the rest of his body is gray with the printing on the chest being blue, but the body itself being gray. It has the same as the Snow Troopers, just in a different color, and a smaller belt, and the back is slightly different as well. I think just being a different color. The legs have no printing. They are just basic gray legs, so nothing much to speak about there. Next is the Luke Skywalker Hoth X-Wing pilot, whatever you want to call it, Snowspeeder pilot. This is some of the most detailed helmet printing I have ever seen, with the Rebel logo, and it's not just 3 stripes, it's actually 5, because it goes red, white, gray, white, red. So it's actually 7 layers of color, even though it was just printed on the white, so it could be 5. But it is a beautiful looking minifigure helmet. Same, it has printing on all sides of it. as you can see. This is one of his faces with the chin strap and the visor, and the other side is the same thing but with his visor lifted up and him looking a little happy. The one thing I don't like about how this works is you can still see the chin strap on the back of his head when it is turned. Nothing you can really do about it though, it's just how the shape of the helmet is, and since they wanted to double print the face, that's just how it's going to be regardless of how I want it. The entire body is orange with the vest and belt on the back where you can see that big old belt loop. And the front is pretty intricate as well with all of his snow device on the front with the pipe leading to the side and the bunches of pockets on the bottom of the legs. This is a really good minifigure. I really like how it looks. And that is all of the minifigures. On to the builds. In this Lego set, we got 3 builds, the smallest being this little turret for the snow troopers. It is standard for all of them except for this little piece on top. I'm assuming they mean for it to be a scope, but it looks pretty good, pretty standard, no issues with it. The next build you can store inside of the AT-AT. It is the speeder bike or snow speeder, whatever you want to call it. Let me extend out the legs really quick. I think this thing looks really good. It's very similar to the one in the Hoth 2-in-1 battle pack. I'm not exactly sure what the specific set it was in for the 2-parter there, but it looks very similar or might be the exact same. Actually, let me get it really quick. Here is the other snow speeder. It is a little different. The one from the set, which is on the left, is a little bit smaller and doesn't have a intercom piece like this for the scout or whatever snow trooper you put on there. It doesn't have the stuff on the back either. It is a little smaller, as they had to deal with piece constraints. But yeah, those are the 2 small builds, and now we will get on to the main build. The first thing we will be looking at for this build are the legs. We will go legs, body, and head while I review this. So first with the legs, I really like how they look on the outside, but the inside of the legs lack detail. As you can see here, it is just open plates and Technic pieces, while this is all studs and tile pieces as well. Let me take off one of the legs so you can see what I'm talking about closer. Here is the back right leg. You can see how it all has nice tile and stud look on the outside, but on the inside it is just Technic pieces and open studs on the back. It does have this nice detail there though, so it does look a little cool, but that is also just for stability, I believe. But it does look pretty accurate to the movies, because this thing was also just lacking in detail. It's just a big old dog in my opinion. So, but they do work really well. They are slightly unstable, even though it is standing on 3 legs right here. It's because this thing is very top heavy. The head is very, very heavy. So if I tried to take off this front leg and keep this leg on, it would all collapse because the front load is just way too heavy. The other thing I don't like about the legs are these 2 blue Technic pieces and this 1 brown axle. The thing I don't like about it is that it sticks out like a sore thumb. You can see the blue and brown from a mile away. Before I built this, I actually thought it was blue and red. Regardless, it doesn't match with the build at all, and I think it kind of ruins the immersion a little bit. The other thing I don't like with the legs is, let me take you off the stand here, are these little pieces that cover the side here. They are very flimsy and fragile. I think when I tried to take off that leg, I pulled off this side a little bit. It's a little loose, as you can see right there. I gotta push it back in. That is another explanation for the top heavy part. Hold on a second. Now you can see why I said it was very top heavy. The head will immediately start falling down on you. But these pieces right here, very fragile. They are only connected by 2 Lego bricks. One being, let me actually take it off. One being a single tile right there, and then a full bar right here. So it's not much to hold on to. I would definitely recommend picking it up from here, or just holding it like this from the underside without actually touching any of these. Because not only are these fragile, but this middle piece right here is also fragile with this and this thing right here as well. Other than that, I really like how it all looks on the legs. It's very minimized and dystopian, so it definitely does fit the look of the AT-AT. But I really do wish they could have done something about the insides. Next up will be the mid section. Let me get you guys to height here. The mid section can hold the speeder from the back, which is what we will be starting with. Let me get it all into frame here. Yes, and I forgot to say, other than the legs, this whole build is very sturdy. It does shake a little bit because it's so tall and up there, but it will definitely stay together. There are no problems with it falling apart, other than, I'm gonna just eat my words there. There are a couple pieces that can fall apart, especially with these two, because it is only connected by right here and right here. So it has a 2 brick connection on this single line piece right there. So it can be very unstable if you try to mess with it. And I don't know if any of you guys watched long enough in the build, but they did fall off a lot, and I did place it wrong as well. So these pieces right here aren't very stable, and these pieces right here aren't very stable. But other than that, very stable build. So let me take this out really quick. It's where I stashed the goods. Great place for it, by the way. So the speeder bike actually sits in here very nicely from the back, and that is what this back opens up for, is so you can put it in there. It fits in there very nicely, and it doesn't obstruct any of the seats in the middle. Next is the midsection. Oh, let me talk about the outside first. I really like the outside. It could be less studded, but it would definitely look very different and it would have an elevated placement compared to this, because it would have to be raised tiles all around on these sides. Next will be the middle. As you can see the speeder bike in there, and here is the string coming from the bottom right here, which holds the grappler gun right down there. To lower and raise it, there is the gearbox right in here. Let me take this off. You can see this gear. This lowers and raises the grappler gun up into the AT-AT. There is a space on the bottom for it as well, so if you don't want it in your build, you can cover it up completely. I don't recommend taking these side panels off, because they are a pain to get back on. But that opening right there is so you can turn the gearbox for this little gun right here. Let's get back to the middle section. These doors open up. They have a pretty big range. That ranges from about here. You can open them this way too to deploy your troops. You can open them up all the way over there. There are 5 seats in the middle compartment along with whatever this is, all in the sand blue color, and you can see the speeder bike right there. It is very spacious. There's a lot of headroom. I don't know what else you would use it for, but a lot of room. They definitely could have added a second level. I am not exactly sure how they would do it, but it would definitely look pretty cool like it does in the UCS AT-AT. For the doors themselves, I really like this big open piece. It really adds some life to the build. Same with this one and these grill pieces right here. Now for the head. The head is connected to the main body by this one blue pin right here and this one Technic rod right there. The inside is just big enough to fit General Veers and your 2 AT-AT pilots, but it is a very tight fit and something might break if you try to put them in there. There are 4 control panels. There is 1 to the right and left of General Veers, and there are 2 in the front for the AT-AT drivers. These things do fold in and out, but I don't recommend opening them like that because these 2 pieces right here get hit by this stud and they will fall off or get very loose and eventually fall off as well. So I don't recommend opening these up to be sideways like that. But other than that, the door is very nice. It opens up a lot so you don't have to struggle to fit them in there. And I like the turrets on the side as well as the spring-loaded shooters on the bottom of the head that shoot out if you hold sideways, not up and down, because of how the bricks are aligned. I really do like the design of the head. Other than the bottom, it is almost all tiled off, so it really gives you that nice sleek feel, especially on the front. The sides and the top are not as tiled off, but they definitely are enough to give it that dystopian look. And that is the detailed review of the body. Here is once again the full build and all of the minifigures in one photo. I really liked building this. It was super fun. I did have a lot of trouble with the string. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I did cut out about 2 or 3 minutes of me just trying to tie a knot around the spool that the string fits onto and on the gun as well. It was really annoying. I am not a fine motor skilled type person, so that was pretty tough for me. But other than that, and maybe a couple other parts that I don't exactly remember, but I remember it being frustrating. So other than those 2 things, I really did have fun with this. It looks super good. It is really big as well, which is a thing that I like. It is the biggest Lego set that I have. It is also the longest it took me to build in a Lego set. In about 3.5 to 4 hours of building, which did not happen in one sitting. It happened in 2 days, but I really like it. It looks beautiful. Yeah, I hope you guys liked my review of the AT-AT as well, along with all of the build videos. And if you want to see more of this, please like, comment, and subscribe so I know that you want to see more of it. Thank you, and I will see you all sometime soon. Bye-bye.